So today we're going to look at the street races in North Point on Sleeping Dogs Definitive Edition. The first race is called No Swept. You've only got the 600 Coupe S to choose from, so that's the car we're going to go with. Now this car's pretty quick, so we should be okay during this race. I could call it a medium length race. Use the square button if you're using PlayStation to smash into people where possible. Always helps. The handling on this game isn't the greatest, as I've probably explained before, but just try and keep people behind you. Here I'm at the moment struggling to catch this person in first place, but we'll reel him in eventually. He manages to mess himself up there, and we're into the lead, and the pursuers are steadily dropping behind us. This race is pretty simple, straightforward, not a lot of traffic, not a lot to run into, the road's quite wide, and here I go over the finish to win. So the second race in North Point is Enduro. This is one of the longest races on this game, and you are equipped with a motorbike, which can be quite difficult to handle at times. So this one is extremely interesting. For some reason the graphics don't particularly work at the start either, so that's good. You have to watch out for a lot of street furniture or paraphernalia lying around in this one. It's very easy to spin the motorbike out and get stuck behind something like that there, just trying to overtake somebody and getting it slightly wrong. So there are 12 competitors in this one, and as you can see again, I've got shunted in towards. Don't worry about it at the start. There's such a long time in this race that you'll be able to work back from wherever you are. And the motorbike doesn't really turn very well, so you'll have to actually use your brakes to aid the turning of the vehicle. And the course can be quite complicated, so there's a lot of sharp bends that you may not see coming. I've caught up with the main group, as you can see now after that pretty appalling start. Generally managing to pass through, hitting the odd lamppost or three. You also have to be careful not to hit too much stuff, because your bike will eventually conk out. So I played this probably at least 3 or 4 times before I actually managed to get this version. All sorts of things happening. So these tight corners really aren't the best for this particular bike that we're riding. The wet conditions don't help either. Just building up quite a decent lead now. There's a lot of blind corners as well, so the traffic on this is a bit more difficult than it has been on some of the other videos that I've made of these particular street races on Sleeping Dogs. So now I've started to pull out quite a bit of a lead on the pursuers. Just be careful around those tight bends and make sure to keep your concentration. I've managed to mess up again there. Thankfully it's not cost me the lead, but the pursuers are now much closer than I'd like. Try and use the straights to pull away where possible, and try and look at your mini-map to advise you where your next turn will be. As you can tell, we're only 46% into this race. This jump is absolutely horrible. So if you don't hit that right, you can hit that lamppost, or you can end up in the middle of that central reservation, at which point it's pretty much game over and restart. I've pulled quite a big lead, on my pursuers now. Again, this is a very, very long race. I stuck to the side where there is to flow with traffic rather than go against traffic. It seems to work better on this game. Traffic doesn't seem to get out of your way if you're in the opposite lane. So again, watching for these tight corners, plenty of them on this particular course. You're essentially doing a whole lap of the entire island. So I've got quite a comfortable lead, but that doesn't mean I can mess up. So just once you've got this kind of lead, just try and protect what you've got rather than going hell for leather and risking messing up, because there are several places where you can just get stuck and lose all of that lead that we've built up during this entire 4 minutes of this race so far. So again, I'm staying with traffic, having it easy to handle. This bit is a little bit harsh if you're in a battle with people, so if I was in a group there, getting up this actual ramp is a bit of a nightmare. As I said, in the previous couple of races that I'd messed up a couple of times, I'd got stuck there through no fault of my own, but just trying to get past other riders and then kind of T-boning me at the time. So thankfully I managed to get towards 85% this race, and I've got a fairly comfortable lead now. So I've just slowed down a little bit to take it a little bit more careful, just to ensure that I don't mess up at this final stage. Nail it. Managing to luckily wall ride off a little bit of step there. These alleys are horrible when you're going through them, all with rubbish and paraphernalia that you can fall over. Another thing about this motorbike is that once you stop, when you get going, it gets going quite quickly. So just be aware that if you're pointing in the wrong direction, it may well fire you into some more scenery. So you have to be careful when setting off on this motorbike. That is one of the turns where you will get very, very stuck and have to reverse out, which takes forever. So coming towards the finish of this race now, finally, nearly 6 minutes, and there we are over the line. So the third race in the North Point area is called Alley Press, and this is located at the top of the area. And we'll have to use the Sting motorbike, which is one of the faster motorbikes on the game, and it can be quite hard to handle at times. So the advice on all the motorbike games, you try and steer clear of other competitors, because you tend to skew off in a random direction and it can cause you to crash into walls. You'll see me exactly not do that at this point, where I kind of get involved with this guy. And then I'm trying to be really careful in these alleys, because I've probably tried this a few times and I've probably hit the wall, had to restart. So I get a bit lucky there when I T-bone that guy into the wall and get away with it. And these two are fighting in front of me, and again I'm a bit lucky to not hit anything on the wall there. And again, but I've overshot here, so I have to reverse, no reverse, and then I get stuck on the wall again. So don't panic if you are this far behind, it's still possible to pull it back, as you'll be able to see in this video now. I don't know what happened there, maybe I pressed square, who knows. Anyway, just keep going, try and take the shortest path possible between the checkpoints, and hopefully we'll catch these guys ahead, avoid that jump there, because if you don't, you'll probably be unable to regain the ground. Just keep up, one crashed at the side there, and another one here. Try not to cut the corners. On a lot of the corners in the city area, there are railings on the inside, and those can really affect you when trying to cut the corner or do something like that. Anyway, it seems like all my competitors are falling over. I'm currently third with only 6% of the race to go. I get lucky at that shortcut and over the line for the win. It's pretty fortunate during that race, to be fair. I think most of the time you probably wouldn't win that if it was any other race. And there's just one more race to go, It's called Crippling Road, and it's located towards the bottom of the North Point area. And for this, you have to use one of the two Hong Kong police cars, either the car or the SUV. Now, interestingly, I always choose the SUV as it seems to be more reliable despite it being very slow. I tried this a few times in the car and I wasn't having much luck. So I went for the SUV. One good thing about having the SUV is that you can ram people a lot harder, and it's a bit more resistant to the street furniture that you're running into, whereas the car can sometimes get caught up on little bits of it. As you can see here, I'm through into second place, and I'm catching the guy in front who slows down up this hill. There's a bit of rubber banding as usual going on in this game, so he will probably come past me at that straight point because this police car isn't fast. I'm advised to have your flashing lights on at all times, just so that if anyone is in your way, 90% of the time they'll actually move out of your way. It just makes this race a bit easier. You see that car on the left just pulled over to the side there to let me through. This car also doesn't turn very well, so you have to be careful. None of the vehicles really turn that well on this game. It's just part of the driving physics of this particular game. The traffic is quite bad at this time of day for when I've got this run through, but it seems to be working in my favour, with the competitors behind being now really quite far behind, so I've got quite a comfortable lead at this point with 75% of the race done. Little crash there, but again it's tight and it's a lot of parked cars in this particular section, and the competitors have caught up somewhat because of that, because of me messing up, but still not close enough, with this race being fairly short, probably about a 2-minute race. So just a straight run to the finish, one bent bow, and here we are through the final checkpoint and over to the finish. And that's it, that's all 4 races for North Point. Thanks for watching this DM Media video. This has been Dan. I'd like to invite you to like, share or subscribe on YouTube or on Facebook, and hopefully more videos that catch your attention here on this channel.